Our free and equal segment tonight. Tax day is tomorrow. While millions of Americans have set a budget of their own and stuck to it, our own government has been incapable of doing the same thing. Right now, we're $20 trillion in debt with no signs of slowing down. The U.S. budget is unsustainable. We have been promised tax reform, so what does President Trump plan to do about it? Joining me now, policy analyst in the Thomas A. Rowe Institute at the Heritage Foundation, Adam Michel. Adam, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Adam, I was talking about this earlier in the show. We're not quite to Tax Freedom Day. That's actually April 24th, 114 days into the year. That's how long it takes us to pay off our 2016 taxes. We have been promised tax reform by President Trump. I certainly hope our taxes get lowered. What is he actually going to do?
So it's still up for debate what exactly Trump's tax plan will be. But what I think gets lost in the conversation about tax reform is why the average American should care about tax reform beyond just lowering how much money they have to pay. True tax reform, updating our tax code, gets us economic growth, which helps every American. It involves higher wages, more jobs, better investment, and all of these things can help every single American across the economy, and that's why we should really care about tax reform.
Right. So, I mean, that is a lot to ask people to think outside our wallets. You know, that is the number one motivator of people in our country is how much taxes, you know, how much we earn, how much we bring in, how much the government takes from us. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, what you're saying is that the potential for more growth, the potential for more opportunity, perhaps even the potential in the future to be able to afford our taxes or pay less, that also comes. So it's not just an instant gratification thing. It's kicking the can down the road just a little bit, an investment in order to reap better rewards.
Yeah, it's even more than that. It's the current tax code is so broken that it's holding back the economy. So tax reform will allow businesses to invest in new plants, in new farm equipment. And that will allow them to hire new workers and allow them to raise wages. And that helps, as I said, it helps everyone. This is really broad-based economic growth that feeds all the way across the economy and into each American's wallet.
Right, and I think Republicans are afraid to tackle what needs to be tackled in order to fix this. This isn't just a philosophical difference between Democrats. Republicans are afraid to tackle entitlements because that's a word that Democrats, you know, bring out their fainting couches. They're like, oh no, they're going to cut entitlements. People are going to die. People are going to suffer. But Adam, the fact of the matter is we're $20 trillion in debt. We're spending more than we take in by a significant amount. It would be like if an ordinary citizen just had astronomical credit card debt and continued to spend instead of trying to pay it off. If we don't stop what we're doing, we're going to owe our souls to China, which seems to be a dangerous proposition in this day and age. It's not that hard if you look at the federal government. I mean, if you look at some of the reports of wasteful government spending, there's a lot of fraud, there's a lot of abuse, there's a lot of simply wasted, stupid spending that goes on. We need to tackle that stuff before we even get to the entitlement part.
Yeah, we didn't get into $20 trillion in debt because we didn't tax enough. Washington has a spending problem, and that is just as important as what the tax code looks like. When we talk about tax reform, politicians often get stuck in this trap of revenue neutrality. We need to bring in as much money as we currently are bringing in. And that just neglects the whole other side of the ledger that you were just referring to. Washington gets plenty of our tax money. What's important is what they spend it on. And in my view, they're spending it on too many things.
Right, they're spending it on absolutely ridiculous things. That's actually what my final point is on tonight, the 12 most ridiculous ways the government has wasted my money and your money in 2016. But Adam, when we're talking about, and this is in the more technical sense, when we're talking about Trump's tax reform plan, when we're talking about both the instant gratification that the American citizens are looking for, how it's going to cut back on our taxes, versus the more long-term things that'll be beneficial to our economy, what are the three things that you guys at the Heritage Foundation are looking for that you think would comprise a good plan?
So a good plan should lower rates for all Americans. The tax code should be simpler, just so people understand what they're paying and how much they're paying. And third, the tax code should stop double taxing certain types of income, making it harder for businesses to invest in the economy, which is the engine of economic growth.
Right.
But
No, go ahead. When you say simpler, what do you mean? Like, do you mean something like Ted Cruz's fill out your income tax returns on a postcard? Or are you talking about, the corporate tax rate? What do you mean when you say make the tax code simpler?
So across the board, it means removing all the special privileges that have special carve-outs for individuals and businesses so that everyone pays the same rate. Just generally make all of the complexities that both businesses and individuals have to deal with go away, so that yes, hopefully an individual can pay their income tax in a much more succinct way.
Right, and hopefully that would also enable our government to cut things better, cut wasteful spending a little more easily, and give us back our money. Adam, thanks for being here today. It was great to talk to you.